Hey, Tornado. Hey, Caleb. Nieces. You won't be able to make it, but giving a like and hope y'all have a good time. Aw, thank you, Nieces. All right. How's everybody doing today? Just trying to get my live stream up on my page and my Facebook. I meant Facebook. On my YouTube. Been staring at my phone for the good part of today, trying to do some editing and stuff like that with the video that will be coming out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. I mean, the last couple of weeks, I mean, like I've said in the past, for those that, follow my channel and especially on the live streams, Mondays and Tuesdays are typically our day off. And then, of course, I do Tuesdays live stream. And there are many times to where we end up working, something happens to where we actually don't get to enjoy any actual downtime. And then unless, and it doesn't happen often, unless it's easier for me to enjoy it if I'm, home alone, to where I can just veg out on the couch and watch TV and whatnot. I mean, today we were able to do that, hubby and I, even though we're both on our phones off and on, we got to enjoy a day off and just relaxing and watching TV. And I guess that was another reason why for this Tuesday's live stream, I didn't really have anything planned as to, what the topic of the evening is going to be, what we're going to do. I just want it to be just an open chat for anybody who comes in and, participates as part of the live stream. But if you happen to be catching this as part of the replay, hopefully you'll still leave a comment about how your day went and if you can relate to anything that's, happened in the video. One of the things that I did end up finding today and was that we were supposed to be watching our grandbabies tonight, but my daughter ended up notifying me this morning that, they're not feeling so well. So she didn't go to work and, we didn't have to watch the grandbabies tonight. Hey, Tornado. So what I ended up doing too was, and it was interesting because I got to see it from, and I like getting that different point of view, but I was trying to figure out a way to send my daughter and her kids some food, Of course, we're gig workers for most of us, especially, for those that follow my channel, using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and whatnot. Hey, Caleb. How are you today? I just happened to be talking about what happened with my daughter once I found out, we weren't going to be watching the grandbabies. But I ended up using H-E-B to order some food for my daughter. So that way she didn't have to worry about cooking and she can just relax and try to feel better. But so when I placed the order, I know with H-E-B here in Texas, they have their own delivery. They've got delivery vans, when those are used, I don't know if it's just for the large orders or, for multiple customers that they're delivering to, because their delivery vehicles, from what I've seen, are just vans. And I ended up getting notified that my delivery was going to be done through Favor. So I was like, cool. I actually get to see, because I do Favor as a delivery driver, I get to see it from a customer's point of view. Hey, Granny. Okay, I just wanted to say, I was like, huh? Who? Granny Dukes, how, how are you doing tonight? I was just talking about how my daughter, a couple of her kids aren't feeling well, and that I got to utilize one of the apps that I deliver for. So I got to see from the customer's point of view on the setting up, how to do the tip, and I'm probably going to do a little short video because I took screenshots. But um, as long as you opt in for it to get the push notifications. And, I was even able to reach out to the driver because I wanted to make sure that the driver was aware that this was going on post to a military installation and if they were going to be able to get on. And they were quick to respond. But yeah, I found it to be pretty cool. And trying to see what else was there. But it does notify you when they've arrived, when they're on their way, as well as delivery. So, hey, Mary, how are you? Are you out working? So, but because with favor, especially when it comes to the curbside pickups, it gives you a block. Like what was scheduled for my daughter was that as long as it was delivered between 6 and 7, it it gives us room to stack. So now I know, especially if the customer is watching every move, they know when arrived at the store and they know when you've left. And it gives you an estimate, an ETA of your arrival. So, for sure they'll know if you are stacking an order and if you put that order ahead of, the favor order, they'll know. The customer knows if they're watching. And it's not often, I mean it happens, but it's not often that when I'm trying to reach out to the customer, no matter the app, they're ready to respond. And I like that. But at the same time, just how much are they really watching, especially when we're leaving the store and we stacked that offer with something else. I don't, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if it was the store that I selected, but I did end up tipping $8. And the only reason why I tipped $8 was because I wanted to see, and I wasn't going to ask my daughter if she had a few, because I set it up as a contactless, if she had any cash, to leave at the door for the driver. But I wanted to see if the customer can increase the tip. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Once I got notified that it was delivered and it asked us to rate, the experience. And I gave the person a 5-star because not everybody that I deliver to rates me. Some just ignore that part and then some do rate. But I gave them a 5-star. But at least from the customer's point of view, at the time you're setting up for the delivery, that's the only time you can set the tip. I mean, for as many that I've accepted, I haven't seen any as a driver to where the tip was increased. So that's something I wish that they would update, maybe, is giving the customer the ability to increase after the fact, especially, for exceptional service. Yeah, I mean it's good, and at the same time, like I said, there's with this app specifically, especially for the curbside, it does give you the room to be able to stack it with something else. So, as long as that order gets there by, the allotted time, I don't see one of yours, then they could decrease the tip. That is true, with everything where we think it's a benefit for the driver, could also be a double-edged sword. If they're giving the customer the ability to increase, that means they're giving them the ability to decrease. And I didn't see either. When it was completed, all it wanted me to do was rate. It didn't give me the option to be able to increase or decrease. So from a driver's point of view, the ability to be able to increase would be nice. And then, of course, I mean, that could still play on the customer's point of view. So I guess the only way you can increase the tip if the driver did an exceptional job is, what customers normally do is they give you, additional tip in cash. I think people should have an option on decrease the tip. Yeah, and there should be a small window for that. Just a small window. I mean, if you're ordering, from the restaurant, because Favor does restaurant deliveries as well, and if you're ordering groceries, almost always it has cold items. And I think the window to be able to decrease the tip should be very small. Because if for whatever reason, if they left your order at the curb instead of by the door as requested, or whatever the reason may be that, it was bad service in reference to the driver, then there should be a way to be able to do that. Me too. And Mary, in reference to cash tips, the highest cash tip we got, and it was through Favor, was a $20 tip. I mean, they tipped, pretty decently in the app. And then after unloading everything, the guy comes back and he's like, "Here you go." And I was like, "No way." And I told him, I was like, "You just don't know how you made my day by, because he gave a $20 tip. I think in total it was like $30 for that order, just tip alone. And it wasn't far from the store either. So those cash tips, especially when it's a surprise and it's, $5, $10, $20 on top of what was already tipped, those are pretty awesome. They really do, make you feel appreciated. Oh my gosh. What app was that on, Caleb? I mean, that's on one hand, I mean, that definitely could be the driver stacking and placing your order at the bottom. And it was DoorDash. 30 minutes late. Did you get compensated for that? Did you get a refund from the app for getting your food 30 minutes later than anticipated? So you only gave the driver a bad review? But did you reach out to DoorDash and say, "Hey, I got my food late and cold"? And speaking of DoorDash, for a while there, I just kept getting notifications that about my one of the things that they rate you on, which is the not the acceptance, but completion. Because as of right now, I'm sitting at a 93 for my completion. And I believe that really that just has to do, or at least that was my understanding, that your completion rate has to do with once you accept the order and you complete it, from pickup to drop off. But I've done, especially in this past week, I've done quite a few DoorDash, and I didn't cancel any of those orders, but my completion rate didn't change. So I'm scratching my head on that, on why that didn't change. Well, that sucks, Caleb. That does. I mean, when you're ordering and using this service, from the customer's point of view, for sure, there should be a way to get compensated. I mean, if they're going to reprimand the driver, then they should compensate the customer, especially if it is the driver's fault. But so one of the other things that that's been going on really is that we've been, and it was kind of based off of the video that I released a couple of days ago talking about the 4 different apps with Spark, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Favor. And some of the updates, as well as just the in reference to the cheaters and the scammers and whatnot, and then just the updates to the apps themselves. And I don't know if anybody else watched that video, but one of the things, speaking of DoorDash, I don't know if it's always been there. I just never saw it. But when it comes to doing the delivery and how you get, you got the little window, and I included a screenshot in the video, but to where you can it gives you the option to click on the picture and you can see what the drop off looks like, especially, I mean, mainly the door, wherever it is you're dropping it off. There's a picture there from the last driver. Because as we all know, the GPS is not always reliable. So it kind of helps to have, I was like, okay, that it matches the door in the picture, so I'm at the right spot. Because I was just watching Drew's video earlier today talking about, one of the updates to the Spark app, and he's, I haven't seen it in mine, but he says where he's at, when it comes to the drop off, now there's like a green circle to let you know, and if you're in that circle or not, then you're at the right spot. And even with that still causes issue, and they've got to tweak that because you're at the right spot, but the GPS could be off. And so sometimes he said in his video that he had to like walk to a certain spot or walk to be able to click, arrived. So I find that, some of these updates aren't always for the better. And which is, understandable as to why when they're rolling out updates to the app or whatever, that they only roll it out to certain areas at a time to, find out if there's stuff that needs to be tweaked. So if you haven't watched Drew's Spark Adventures, I'm not sure if I have him set up as my one of the pop-ups for Nightbot, but he is he mainly does Spark, and for the most part so do we, unless we're working at home. And for the past 2 weeks, I think Wednesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes on the Fridays, we're actually working from our home zone, so we're not having to travel 30 to 40 minutes to the other zone to where we can focus on Spark, because we won't, we don't do so bad in our home zone. Let's see. Anything else interesting happened to anybody that's still with me now? Oh, and Mary, if you're still watching, congratulations and kudos to you. You are just, killing it with your subscribers. What was it that I saw? You are now at, let's see where you are at now. Over 300. You are over 300 subscribers. So congratulations, Mary. Like I said, you are just killing it. I wish, and I've said this before, being able to go live all the time, would definitely help me with my my watch hours. Hi, welcome to my channel. Because as of right now, I still need 500 watch hours to hit that first monetized level. So some of my family has been helping me by streaming my channel, and of course they are constantly hearing from me, through text, through Messenger. I'm like, hey, have you been streaming my channel yet? So I've been bugging my family, and I've come from a large family, and you would think if I just got between my siblings and their kids and my kids, I could have knocked out my watch hours like that. Well, Chris, your AR is really good still. But I feel you on that in reference to the type of low ball offers that we get. I mean, I just can't stand the high mile ones. It wouldn't be too bad to take these low dollar amounts if the miles just weren't crazy. To me, if you're going to lowball the dollar, then, 2 miles or less if you want me to be taking those type of offers. Because especially in my home zone, 5 miles can easily take you out of town, take you to an area where you're going to have to spend those miles coming back so you can still continue receiving offers. So, I mean, Uber Eats, is just as bad. Grubhub, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get paid, 12, 13, 15, $17. Nice. But then the miles practically match. um, and $1 a mile. Okay. But again, once you start going over 10 miles, it's easy to say that even if it's taking you to an area where you can still receive offers from that app, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can continue using the other apps. Because like Grubhub has a specific map, and the moment you're out of that map, you can no longer run it. Same thing with DoorDash. If you signed up for a block in one town, but an order takes you to another town that's part of a different map, unless they're busy, to where you can switch to that zone, and then you're going to have to spend, some of those miles coming back. So what was $1 a mile could turn into 50 cents. I got like $1 per mile. Some of them are going way out from any west. Just way off. Yeah, I mean, at least with Grubhub, it does, because it always wants to know as to why you're declining an offer. And almost always I'm selecting offer too low for distance, which, especially with Grubhub, that is 9 times out of 10 the reason why I don't accept the offers on there. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, especially when, what do you call that? Again, depending on where your market is, um, and how easy it is to get out to the rural areas. So again, no stores, no restaurants. And now, because, speaking from working from one zone to the other, now Instacart, they can also be known to have taking you from one town to another, and the town that, is 20, 30 miles away. Sometimes that actually is worth taking, because especially if it's a town we were planning on going to anyways, that's part of a different zone, part of a different market altogether. And we've done that with Instacart a couple of times. And I was like, hey, we were planning on going to that area anyways, so why not get paid for it? Because otherwise, some of those offers that came through was like $30 for 20 miles. 20 miles, that's quite the distance. So the only way I can pay from Waters, but was not working now in DoorDash. Huh? Hey, Nicole, thank you. All right, Linda, listen to me, Linda. No politics here, please. That's okay. That's okay. I was wondering, I'm trying to make sense. I'm like, am I just not, my comprehension is just, How are you tonight, Nina? But, going back to the, and sometimes I do that on purpose. I'll get out there and turn on my Instacart, and I was like, let's see if we're going to get any offers that's going to take us to that area. And one offer it went from, because once we started shopping at Costco, and it was literally as soon as we walked in through the door, I ended up getting an add-on for an additional $12. Of course, it said an additional 10 miles. And again, that would be something, I was like, no, $12 for 10 miles, really? But that stacked offer on Instacart went from being just over $40 to an additional over $50 because the customer that was an add-on on that specific order increased the tip an additional $10. So that was pretty cool. Thank you, you too. Well, I meant, have a great day. Oh no. When you say crapped out on you, as in engine wise or something that's a quick fix and, little to no money to fix it. But that sucks, Nina. But Nicole, if you're still there, I seriously need to get seriously. I need to get my nails done, or at least the cuticles. You know how if you don't take care of it, how it hardens? Yeah. The check engine light and brakes, and yeah, no money to fix it per usual. Aw. I know you're not really laughing at what you just said there, Nina, because, our car has yet to be fixed, too. We're still using my daughter's car, and thankfully she has a car that, we are renting from her, but because it's still no AC, and that's gonna, take some time for him he's finally figured out, or at least he's thinking, he knows what the problem is, but to fix it, requires him to be out there, and with this Texas heat, and then of course the money to even just to get the part and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been without our own car since May. So it does suck. That's a pretty poster behind you. Thank you. I'm trying to remember. Babe, where did we get this Guam poster again? Okay, that's right. That's right. So this poster behind me, when we had the food truck, it was actually another family that was from Guam that ended up giving it to us. So I was like, that was really cool. Huh? Well, what am I looking at? You talking about the lizard?
No. Where the sun's at.
Where the sun is at?
Mm-hmm. It's a UFO.
It's a UFO? Look how pretty. I point my phone out the window, but the window is dirty. If you guys saw the thumbnail, to for this live stream, I used a picture of sunset. That's kind of like what he's looking at right now. And I just, pictures, unless you have a really, really good, phone or camera, the pictures just do it no justice. But that's kind of like what we're seeing. Hey, Presley.
It's all pink.
But, with those, the gorgeous colors with the pink, the different shades of red, and depending, as the time is going on and the colors that you'll see, especially if there's any clouds at the time that it's setting, sometimes we'll see the orange and I think, what wasn't it? No, I think it was pink and purple. Was it?
Purple.
But the colors were just gorgeous. Like I said, that photo that I was using as a thumbnail for this live stream, that was not our home zone, but we turned that corner and my husband is just look, and I'm like, where? He'll just say look, and I'm like, where? And he pointed to, he's like, look at the sunset. And especially in the distance where there was a tree and there was a spacing in the tree, and it almost looked like it was kind of eating the sun. But that, I mean, like I said, I took the distance shot and then I tried to zoom in, but of course, even zooming in on my own phone, it starts to distort the picture. So that sunset at that moment when we turned the corner, we were getting ready to make a delivery, and it was just gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. I mean, there are times I wish I would catch sunsets like that over the water. I mean, yeah, I'm an island girl, grew up in a tropical island, but when I left, I was 16, and honestly, took stuff like that for granted. So, I mean, even the times that I've gone back as an adult, I don't think I actually made any time to be, to go to the beach to catch the sunset. Because that's definitely the next time I go back home to Guam, that's going to be my first night there. Going to the beach, and we're going to watch the sunset. Hey, Wendy. Going home after this order, I tried picking up a Panera and noodles. And you tried? What happened, Chris? Um, yes, definitely. I miss Guam every day. Get homesick for it, especially when it's really hot outside. I'm like, oh, this would be so nice to go to the beach right now. Um, and so I'm looking forward to that. And that was one of the reasons why when I heard about the potential meetup for the Texans, the Texas meetup next year, I was like, we have no idea where we'll be at that time. Because we're hoping, our son, he's got just over a year left on where he's at, and we'd love to be able to go out there and stay with him for a little bit and get to explore Japan, Okinawa. And then, of course, because of where that's at, it'll be easy for us to take a military hop to Guam and, stay with my brother out there. And then again, really, really try to absorb my home island and not feel rushed to be able to see. Because, my husband would be like, have you been here? Have you been there? And I'm like, you got to remember when what I told you. I said I left the island before I was even driving. So, and even though I've been back a couple of times as an adult, I didn't, have my own vehicle. I was always at the mercy of people that had vehicles on being able to drive around. So, yeah. Hey, Candy. I'm glad you were able to join and you didn't miss it. I had to pick up that phone place that I could ask for the wrong. Oh. Aw. I don't know if you're still doing talk to text, Chris, so I don't know if I'm missing out on some of what you're trying to say. I know Mary sometimes when she's driving and she's doing the talk to text, she'll be having issues too. I'm like, wait, what? But for those of you guys that are just now joining my live stream, at the start of it, I was talking about my daughter and a couple of her kids. Just put out some positive vibes there that they get better real soon because they're under the weather. One of the kids or two of the kids started to get sick. With upset tummies over the weekend. So. And then it went on to mommy. So mommy has it now. So I ended up using Favor to deliver some food to my daughter so she didn't have to worry about cooking. Got them soup, and I know she loves French bread. So French bread to go with it, and Pedialyte. So especially the kids, stay hydrated. I didn't even know you could do that on you. I mean, for one, and I know it was Fran, not Mary. I think Fran, whenever she would join any of my live streams, and I didn't even know that that was, an option. I always wondered how that worked, especially if I'm catching someone else's live when we're on the road. Yeah. It's kind of like what's happening with Chris. I'm not sure. Don't text to speech. Don't understand what I say when I scream at it.
Overall, my football fans, I know the Raiders had a good weekend.
Thank you, Wendy.
I won't call out the teams that did.
I'm not going to say anything. We'll see if he says something first. um,
You ain't gonna play that.
Thank you, Nina. When I told my daughter, what do you call that? That I was having, something delivered, and she's like, "Oh, thanks, Mom." I was like, I'd go down there myself, but I was like, no, that's what delivery is for. Hello. So, and I mean, at least, like I said, for those of you guys that do favor as a driver, just know that as of right now, because I got to see it from the customer's point of view, that there is no option to increase or decrease a tip. And because I wanted to, the driver was quick to respond and everything, and she picked up the order ahead of time and got it there a little bit sooner than the actual, slotted time. So I wanted to see if I could increase the tip after the fact. But no, that wasn't an option. So if you are a favor driver, especially if you're here in Texas, just keep that in mind that, especially if you did exceptional service and it's a contactless drop off, just know that even though if you did an exceptional job and the customer praised you, they themselves might not be aware that they can't increase the tip after the fact. But and again, yeah, crossing fingers. She says everything's fine, but speaking of my grandbabies, my youngest one will be celebrating his birthday this weekend. Yay! And she is going all out for him. And I might have talked about this a little bit on the last live, but it's a carnival theme, and hopefully the weather, will hold and not be too hot. But she's gonna have a bouncy thing set up, but it's gonna have like a mini course inside. There's a dunk tank. So we are trying to really what do you call that? Really get that feel of being at a carnival. And one of the concessions that we're going to be doing is setting up the popcorn station and doing the the funnel cakes. We were actually, she found a vendor that would do that carnival style stuff, but by the time she was actually able to get a hold of them, they were booked for the date that she set it up for. So now we're the other places are a little bit more expensive, so I was like, I'll take care of the funnel cakes. And do that. So he gets better than worse. He has a doctor's appointment Thursday morning, assuming he keeps it. Aw, he actually made an appointment. I hope he keeps it. Ray better keep it. Yes, he better keep it. We all said so. Tell him we all said so. Shh. All right now. Yeah. I always thought that was funny where I put that as part of the description about, we can tell jokes, we can share stories, but please, no politics. It's like, and as much, it's like anytime anybody starts to talk politics to me, and if it's something that just goes right over my head type stuff, I get that glazed look over my eyes. Um, so yeah, trying to see what else. What else happened? So trying to see. Have you guys ever had a dream that felt so real? I mean, many times for myself. I mean, it's to the point where um and the first one that comes to mind is when I was a kid. And again, if you've been following my channel, you'll know that again that I come from a large family, and one of the times I don't know what was going on, but many of us were um, sleeping out in the living room. Really? I don't know if you saw that, babe. Huh? What Nina said? She said she woke up and slapped her husband. Now what was I saying? Oh, and you got to share, not got to, but if you want, Presley, you can share what one of those realistic dreams ended up making you do. But what do you call that? Again, I was a kid, but it felt so real, and many of us have that dream of going to the bathroom. But I don't know how many of you guys, again, keep in mind, I was just a kid. I don't know how old I was, 6, 7, something like that. And I ended up waking up because, again, the urge, it felt so real. And I guess that was just my body's way of slowly waking me up so I can go use the bathroom. But I woke up to myself starting to pull my shorts down. I was like, wait, what? So yeah, when I think about realistic dreams, that's one of the first memories that tends to pop in my head, was it felt so real. And in my dream, I saw the living room, I saw the bathroom and everything. It was, like I said, it was just at the tipping point of, your dream and what was really going on around you. So he says Ray's listening on our way to do a proxy picks. Okay. Hi, Ray. Oh, at Kohl's. Interesting. A proxy picks at Kohl's? Oh, no, Candy. Huh? Oh, man. That's interesting to do proxy picks at a department store. Uh-oh. Well, is there something, a realistic dream that had a funny turnout? Um, but I mean, I've had dreams to where I woke up laughing. I've had dreams to where I actually woke up crying. And when you're crying so hard that you get that, you know, the way you're breathing or something like that is, or it's hard for you to catch your breath because you're crying so hard. That's happened several times to where I wake up and I'm doing the, like, okay, it's just a dream. Everyone tell Ray we are boycotting him if he skips the doctor. That's right. You hear that, Ray? You better be a good boy now. The outside lights at Kohl's. Oh, interesting. I still find that to be interesting that would be I mean, because I think just from watching Sheila's videos whenever she does proxy picks, I think almost always it was a residential, I think. No, I think she's done business. You're right. Never mind. Scratch that. Forget what I was just saying. No doc boycott. I like the way that rhymes. Wait. Okay, I'm trying to look at the map, babe. I'm trying to picture the map. So it's of the states we're going to be driving through to get to Colorado.
I don't know which way I'm going.
Huh?
I don't know which way I'm going. Mexico, Oklahoma.
But Kansas is not one of it, is it?
No.
So why is it when we were stationed in Kansas, we were able to drive into Colorado within 4.5 hours?
Because we,
I meant Oklahoma.
because we drive straight down.
From Kansas to Oklahoma.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Texas.
No, I meant when we were stationed. Sorry, don't mean to. What?
Colorado, Kansas, Colorado.
Wait, say it again.
Kansas.
Uh-huh.
Colorado.
Uh-huh.
Kansas, Oklahoma. Texas.
Ah, so okay. It's more of a sidestep. Okay.
No, it's straight up from here.
No, I meant when we were in Kansas.
South, straight south.
When we were in Kansas in reference to Colorado.
No, west, straight west.
Okay, what did I miss? With flat Stanley, huh? With flat Stanleys? I don't get that. Hi, Roy. How's it going? No, that's not this channel. So, hey, Sheila. How are you tonight? So in reference to Colorado, here in a month, we're going to be celebrating one of my other sisters turning the big. So, we are all getting together, all the sisters, and there's 7 of us, and we are going up there. 2 of them, and to include the birthday girl, are already in Colorado, and then of course there's a couple of us from. Nope, Wiki's always trying to come over and say hi. Okay, but what she likes to do is just walk across my laptop, so she's coming from the other direction. Come on, you want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? This is what she does. She'll get right in my face, and then sometimes she'll just turn around and show me her butt. Go say hi. You want to say hi? No? This is Wicket. You want to turn around and say hi, Wicket? Go say hi. No. See, there she goes. She's like, she wants to do stuff on her own terms. Don't you walk on my laptop. But anyway, so we were going to be driving out there for my mom and my hubby and I in one car, and then my sisters and their group in another vehicle, because they're the smokers. Nope, Wicket, not my laptop. But we're going to be driving up to Colorado next month. Where in Colorado are you going? And we're going to be just north of Denver. Is Mary back? Oh, hey, Mary. Welcome back. Who knows? I might do a live stream out there, because one of the things that the birthday girl wants to do is it's about an hour away from where we're going to be staying, but they call it the hill. My mom also calls it therapy, but it's a casino, and that's where she wants to hang out before the actual celebration. So who knows? Maybe I might do um, a short live stream on me playing the slots out there. Because sometimes I'll play low on the times that I've gone, and then sometimes I like to up my bet. So we'll see. Huh? What'd you say?
You know what I do.
No, I didn't. You mumbled it as I was saying something. He doesn't like me gambling. Yeah, I say gambling, runs in the blood. My parents do too. They like that. That's why I say my mom. She calls it her therapy. I mean, I haven't done that. The opportunities have been there, but my mom, and not that she goes crazy with high betting. I mean, she'll be betting the low stuff, the lowest denomination and stuff, but she's done from, I mean, 24 hours. It's crazy how, that can be done because, next thing you know, that's all you're seeing is the screen and all its cartoonish, whatever. That's all you're seeing. You close your eyes and you're seeing the wheels and the whatever the animation will be. Um, but yeah, that's taking place next month. When I saw Presley talking about, that's why I was like, where? I was gonna see if it was on the way type thing, on the drive up to Colorado. But the other thing that we were talking about, for those of you guys that are just now joining the stream, we were talking about dreams that are so realistic that it wakes you up, and you're carrying over that emotion, you're carrying over that intensity, that it's to the point where you end up doing something physical, mimicking what was one of the last things you were doing before you woke up. Mine, every time I think about that topic, was when I was a kid, but like I said, it's to the point where um, I've woken up laughing. I've woke up, I've woke myself up crying, even if it's just the little tear thing, or to the point where I was crying so hard in the dream that when I woke up, when you're crying so hard and you get that, like you're trying to catch your breath type thing. But the one that always gets me is how they always depict it in the movies, on TV and stuff like that, when it's a nightmare. And on one hand, in the dream, it's not real, and you just like wake up, and you're like, why can't I wake up from this type thing? Dealing with spiders and anything else that just makes you shiver. But that was one of the other topics that we were talking about, was and I think it was Nina who said that, hey Rachel, I'm glad you remembered. We're just talking about realistic dreams. But I think that was you, Nina, that said that it was so real that you woke up and slapped your husband. Did I? I mean, I think that might, not so much as I hit my husband, but I woke up already irritated with him, like, because whatever was going on in the dream, I was mad at him. So when I woke up, I already had that emotion going on, being irritated. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever had, um, honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head of having anything so nightmarish. Um, I mean, I know my husband, he's awakened me because, and it just freaks me, especially when you're dead asleep and he's like, don't talk about me. And, it's, he does something to where, it's like he's struggling in the dream, because it's like you're trying to say something, but you can't exactly enunciate it. And you're trying to talk and, he'll be twitching and he's just like, his mouth is closed, but he's actually talking in the dream, or at least trying to, but, cause, and I know they say don't wake, a sleepwalker and stuff like that, but it's different when they're still laying in bed, so I won't exactly wake him, but, sometimes I'll just put my hand on his chest, or I'll put my hand, my arm on his arm, to hopefully he can sense, that I'm there. And sometimes it's, not that it happens to him often. It's a rare thing. But in the times that I remember, that's what I would do. I'll just put my hand on his chest or I'll put my arm in his arm so he can feel me. And sometimes, that gets his breathing to go back to normal and he'll stop. I think it was only one time that I did gently, rub at his chest, telling him that he's just dreaming. It's just a dream. You're transferring phones tonight? What you mean by that, Mary? Oh, I just had to say this because I know that was something that I talked about on my last live stream was here, for anybody that, does play the lottery, the Mega Millions had reached $800 million when it was won. And what was crazy was that before that actually played, I was like, yeah, no one in Texas, because when we were all getting ready to buy our tickets and everything, I was like, no one here in Texas ever wins. And it was someone outside of Houston. I think, what was it, Sugarland? Someone in Sugarland won $800 million here in Texas. It's crazy, just crazy. I think it was that morning my husband's mom is calling because she saw it in the news that someone in Texas won. And she's like, was it you? Welcome back, Chris. Okay. Let's see. Anyone else willing to share? Because I find that to be very, very interesting when it comes to, realistic dreams. Anybody else want to share anything interesting, funny? Huh? Sheila, that killed me because I was telling my boyfriend when we were out delivering that it was up to 800 million and I was delivering in Sugarland and I didn't stop. Oh my gosh, Sheila. Are you kidding me? Did you hear what I just said? Oh my gosh. Ah, that's crazy. The fact that, do you know of the location? I don't know if you looked it up because on the website, it actually does show where the ticket was purchased. Did you by chance look at that? Or you're like, no, because then that would have made you kick yourself in the butt even more? Because that kind of reminds me of, when I was with my ex-husband and I won't say religiously, but I did play it quite often, the Powerball. And back then in the 90s, they did constantly put the hot numbers. They would always play, put it on the newspaper so you get an idea of what the hot numbers were. And I was constantly paying. But it was one of those things where I had my numbers ready and get into my vehicle and the battery was dead. So I was like, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going anywhere. And next day, checked the newspaper, compared it to the numbers that I was getting to play, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, at that time, and I'll say only, but at that time, the jackpot was like $1 million or something like that. But still, I was like, that for that time, you know, for the 90s, that's a lot of money. I mean, $1 million is still a lot of money today, but still, it's just like one of those things you're like, are you freaking kidding me? You know, it just wasn't meant to be. But that is crazy, Sheila. And I think I've even posted it on my Facebook page one time. One of the other games that they have here is called Cash 5. And I think the jackpot is not, it doesn't go in the millions. It goes only into the thousands. But one of the tickets one time, it plays 5 numbers. I had one number correct, but every other number was either one up or one down from the number that was actually played that won. So I was like, are you serious? Another one of those. That's why, and that's how I sometimes set my numbers. I'll have my numbers, and then I'll do another line, and then I'll alternate it like that. I'll go up and down, you know, stuff like that. So you know where that winner, you know, the location, was that where you would have stopped to buy your ticket? But I will tell you though, I've been wanting to stop by that store in Austin, and it's called the Winner Circle. But what I like to do too when I go to the website to see for the jackpot winners for any of the big games, you know, Powerball, Mega Millions, stuff like that, it tells you where these tickets were sold. And there's this place in Austin that's called the Winner Circle, and a lot of the times that, and I'm like, is this the same person that just keeps winning? But a lot of times when I go and check it out, it shows that it's not a quick pick. Every time I see someone winning from that location, it's, at least from what I can remember, it's hardly ever a quick pick. So I'm just like, wow. I mean, if it's the same person, because it's not back to back. I mean, sometimes there'll be a few weeks in between, you know, that location winning something big from another time. So it's just crazy. But again, you know, it makes me wonder. I was like, the next time the jackpot gets really high, I'm like, I'll go over there and buy my ticket. But again, when I see it posted, it says that it's not a quick pick. So I find that to be very interesting. I mean, I guess, you know, the place is living up to its name, you know, with the Winner Circle. That's why I want to go and buy a ticket. Trying to see. Oh, am I missing anything? You know, sometimes I feel very bad that I don't get out there, you know, and get to everybody's channel, especially those that I'm subscribed to. And like I said, I mean, that sometimes it just takes too long. And I'll have multiple pages open up on my laptop just to be able to view, you know, a lot of different, you know, channels that I'm following. Because it'll usually have a blue dot next to the name, and that means something new. There's something new on their channel, and I try to go check it out. But I'm just like, sometimes I feel like I'm getting so far behind on my homework. Oh, and that reminds me, in reference to the realistic dreams, because to this day, you know, I still get dreams, you know, or nightmares about being in school, not necessarily high school, but even in college. And that almost always there's that fear in the back of my mind that I forgot to turn in homework. I forgot to do an assignment. And that has been a typical dream. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough that I'll still wake up feeling like, am I still in school in college? I was like, did I forget to do an assignment? That feeling will be so strong when I wake up. I have to second guess. I'm like, but I'm not going to school anymore. I graduated. So but I didn't get to do the whole, oh, it looks like I lost a subscriber. Don't you just love that when someone subscribes and then they turn around, it's like, psych. But let me see. Do you ever get burned out doing gig work? My husband just answered. He was like, every day. He gets burned out even before we head out. Just at the thought that we're working. I mean, on one hand, not necessarily mentally, because of the fact that I have my channel. That's part of what pushes me, to be able to get out there and, and go and work. Other than, of course, to try and make money. But I think where I get the burnout is physically. Where I'll wake up sometimes and I feel like, what did I do yesterday? I feel like my arms and especially my legs, would be so tight. And I stretch, every night before going to bed, especially if we worked a long day. If we're out on the road, 8 to 10 hours. I stretch every night, but there are times where I know my body's trying to let me know. It's like, hey, take a breather, take a step back. I mean, that's, so yeah, I'm physically, mentally, not so much, only because, again, I have my channel, and that's what pushes me for that. Trying to work out on, editing videos and stuff like that. Trying to figure out content for the video itself that I want to put out, or to do for a live stream. So that's why even when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, sometimes I'll still have my phone up in my face, and trying to edit a video, or I'm like, oh, I have an idea, so I'll go and try to do that. So yeah. I mean,
At least I don't dread doing this like I did doing the insurance.
I mean, my husband, his comment about it, because, we do this as partners 9 times out of 10. He says at least he doesn't dread doing this as he did, with his other job. And he did insurance for 6 years. He was an insurance adjuster. And he did that for 6 years, just over 6 years, before we started our food truck. So it's for me, I just see it as another adventure. And that's why this time next year, I hope, knock on wood, I really, really hope we are, already in our next adventure of our life. Oh yeah, my because and it had to do with what he did in the military, really. That helped with him being able to get that job as an insurance adjuster, because pretty much what he did is what he did in the military during his last, huh?
But I didn't have to deal with people in the military.
Well, minus having to do, with the customer contact type thing. But so that helped with that, and yeah, it was especially with the first time he got hired and the starting pay, and I was like, ooh, nice. They provided a vehicle and everything. So yeah, that part was nice. But yes, that was an adventure that we were on for 2 years. I turned Spark on for an hour, finally got a notification for a $28 order, then it disappeared. I'd say yes, Rachel, if I was working, but I'm not working. So you got to be careful when it comes on to those. You get those two type of offers. You're going to get the all for one. If you don't see a timer, that means all the Spark drivers that are in your area that have their app turned on are seeing the same thing. So it becomes a game of slapjack. You see a good offer, you better be ready to slap that accept button. But if you see a timer, then that means it's directed only to one driver. Yeah, I think my channel probably would be a whole lot different channel than I have right now. Because it was, and we did even have another customer tell us, I think we were already a year in, talking about, I needed to get on YouTube. I needed to make cooking videos. I needed to, I always thought it was a thought. Always thought it was a thought, you know, something to do that it would have been interesting.
A
But,
lot of work goes into a food truck.
it was a lot of
All
work,
the time.
unless I just had someone constantly shadowing me, which between my husband and I, and then even my daughter, the three of us there, and especially when we're busy, there's no time. Unless I had, and I have seen, I have seen a couple of YouTube channels where people were streaming from their food truck. They would just have a camera set up while they're doing that. And, you know, on one hand, that definitely would have been interesting because, with the type of food, of course, what type of food were we offering? The type of food that I grew up with, and a little mix of American food and stuff like that. So, at least for where we were at here in Texas, it was a really tough market. So that's why, we didn't last as long. It was just a really tough market. And we just couldn't beat that there was a taco truck just about every block. You turn the corner and there's another taco truck. A lot of food that people were familiar with, and despite us getting out there traveling from different towns and stuff like that, even into different neighborhoods to be a part of their events or even just to park, and people come out to the truck, it was just really tough. It was really tough, and I really hated, that we had to close it down after 2 years. But we closed it down, but that doesn't mean we're going to be down for the count. Yeah. Taco truck. And what was the other food? Not just tacos, but it was barbecue. If it wasn't tacos that people wanted, it was barbecue. So yeah, those were the two types of food that typically, they're comfortable. Not that the food that we offered, and we put pictures out so people could see it. Not that our food was exotic. Yeah, maybe just different names, but they weren't exactly exotic, I don't think. There's a lot of new food truck parks out here now. Yeah. And one of these days, maybe as part of our lunch shift, I want to be starting a midday live stream on Fridays. I actually want to start doing something called Food Truck Fridays. And, I was like, I wish there were more people out there when we had the food truck that did that, get out there and expose the food parks or just the food trucks themselves, and expose. It's like if you're in this town or if you've got, in your town, if you've got a truck similar to this, go check them out, go support them. I wish someone had done that when we were still in the food truck biz. But when I say, don't count us out, is because after the hubby and I do our, what are you calling it again? Our walkabout, we still plan I mean, it's still kind of like out there that we still want to do a truck, but it's not necessarily going to be a full-fledged food truck like what we had. And so did a lot of people. I'm like, don't you? I mean, we had grilled chicken, we had grilled ribs. I mean, there was especially because of the type of marinade that we use. I don't know how many times people would come back to the truck, especially the kids, and all they want is just the ribs. And the way they would come out tender and everything. And yeah, but it still wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough to fight, you know, the tacos and the barbecue. But yeah, we still plan after our walkabout and get a chance to resettle back down and put out more of a because the way our truck looked, um we had designed it as more of a beach theme to it. So and it was blue, because of the ocean and beige and everything, but um a lot of people, especially kids, thought we were an ice cream truck. So we're like, no, we're not an ice cream truck. They're like, do you have ice cream? No. So the idea that we have, and I was like, I'm still down for that, and start smaller, is to do like an ice cream truck, but not just ice cream. We'll have a handful of different of your basic flavors, and that you can mix and add different toppings, that type of setup, to still, especially to get more of that island flair to it. But we would still have it to where we would have other desserts and appetizers, especially those that still throw love to my home. That they are still tomorrow desserts and appetizers and stuff like that. So that's still the plan later down the road. So then people can walk and say, are you an ice cream? Do you have ice cream? I'm like, yes. What would you like? But we also have this and this and this. Because especially here in the Texas heat, who wouldn't want ice cream? So yeah, I mean, like I said, that would have been something if I had, actually did start doing the live streaming from the food truck, and especially doing cooking videos, which I'm still doing that, really. I still have my cooking videos now, showcasing dishes that I made, or learned how to make, that I ate growing up. And so there's a playlist for that. So if you haven't already seen that, go check it out. And also, if you haven't already done so, what food did we make? It was, I mean, like I said, a lot of what we did on the food truck was a staple of Guam. You had your ribs, you had your chicken. Of course, there was many other proteins, but we couldn't necessarily, have that on the truck, like fish, seafood type stuff, with the fish, octopus, crab. We weren't that extensive when it came to those different types of proteins, but we stuck to the other two main popular ones, which was chicken and ribs. Red rice, some of the stuff that you've seen me cook on my channel already, red rice, potato salad, the cucumber salad, the cucumber daigo salad, the latiza, the banana donuts, tatizas, which is the flour tortillas. So a lot of that there, and then some. There's still a lot of dishes that we did on the truck, and we didn't always offer the same thing in reference to the sides. Those are the things that we did change up. So yes, you can get, the chicken and the ribs all the time, and especially the red rice. But we did change up the sides that can go with it. So that way you're not just coming back and getting the same thing as is over and over and over again. We changed it up. But we won't be doing a full size food truck like we did. That one was, what was an 18-foot, right? Something like that. And we were able to do all of that, we grilled in the truck and all, but it's not going to be like that on the next time. It's going to be more of the desserts and appetizers. So that way we are going to be a complement to any other actual food trucks around us. So, or for events or anything like that. So we're going to be a complement. We're going to be the desserts and the appetizers. So even if there is a taco truck, even if there is a barbecue truck, or doing anything in relation to any other type of food, I was like, we can complement. You said they don't have dessert. Well, come on over to us. You're looking for something sweet, and savory, something cold, something hot, then yeah, that's the type of truck that we're going to want to do the next time we get back, into the food truck business, is more of the dessert appetizer route, because then I think we would fit better, especially if we're, still paying homage to, where I'm from, my culture and the type of food or appetizers that we offer and make. So yeah, unless I win the lottery, then that's a whole different ballpark. If I win the lottery, my dream on that is to open my own food park type thing. So, yeah, that's a whole different ball game with that. If I could win the lottery, because then it would be a full-fledged restaurant, store, to where you can find merchandise that remind you of home, or my home. But yeah. Well, spend money to make money. Ain't that the truth? And I think that was part of our problem. That was just one of the problem when it came to getting into that business, is that, yeah, especially doing a full-fledged, food truck with it wasn't exactly a large menu, but, it was big enough that the food bill for setting it up for every week, you did. And then, of course, and you spend a certain amount of money to make a certain amount of food, but then you don't get that certain amount of customers to come to the truck or the event that you had planned for. The amount of people that they were expecting, didn't show up, type thing. So there was a little bit of all of that. So, and then of course weather. Yeah, especially when big rain or snow, stuff like that, that always killed business for sure. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Huh? As my husband is trying to cue me. So with that, just be on the lookout for the upcoming live stream that I plan on doing next week, because last week I feel really, I felt really unprepared and everything to do my very first live game night. You're welcome, Rachel. So be on the lookout for next week. I think I am going to attempt game night number 2 next week. And with that one there, I definitely want to do word bingo as one of the games, but just like my attempt last week to play 2 different type of games, is going to be the same thing for next week. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Mark your calendars, because when it comes to the word bingo, this time I am setting it up to where you email me ahead of time. And then that way, if I say I'm only accepting X amount of players for this game, you know, and whether we're, if either of the games are going to be played, for a prize or whatever. So just be on the lookout for that. Next week I am planning on attempting game night number 2. But I think, oh wait, yeah, that's not until next month. But thank you guys so much for joining my live stream. And I see that I had quite a few likes on there. So, thank you for that too. For everybody that came in, even if it was just for a short while, I do still appreciate that support. And just as a last minute quick update in reference to my watch hours, I'm still needing at least 500 to go. And I know tomorrow is my anniversary, for my channel hitting 1 year tomorrow. So I know I'm not going to hit my watch hours probably anytime soon. And who knows if I can get a device to where I can stream every day, I definitely would be doing that just to get my watch hours. But so who knows, maybe I'll be going live again tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow marks my my 1 year for being on YouTube. So, but again, I still need those watch hours. So everybody who's watching this, and been supporting my channel, Situus Masi, thank you for doing so. And yes, I know. I'm just hoping that it'll be here sooner than later. Because the first, I would say probably even the first month of my videos, I still get videos to where they only get 20, 30, views out of it. But there was quite a few of them at the start that wouldn't even break 40 views. So I still got a few weeks. But hopefully it happens way sooner than that. But anyways, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe out there, especially if you are out there working. And until next video, adios for now. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.